edge of things, and you're at a watering hole on some unnamed planet, and there you converge with strange strangers. You begin to swap stories, and one special alien turns to another and says, "Uncle Kunkel, won't you please tell us, Uncle, please tell us the story of the North Pole and the South Pole. I know it's painful, but you were there." And Uncle Kunkel, with their face shape-shifting, you can't quite see the look in their eyes, and the fire flickers. And they begin their story of the North Pole and the South Pole. The North Pole and the South Pole were born at the same boom. They came out with a big old bang, unfurled with a zing-zang-zoom. They came out with a brass band and angels born full form, rising from their cosmic womb, cried, "Hurrah, hurroom!" And north and south flew east and west, and far and wide put to the test, drawing close, their hearts restless, pulled like a magnet, pulled like a black hole, and bending towards the folds of something heavy with gravity dense, an electric magnetic mirror, pushing, pulling, blinding, intense. Well, it burned off all the eyelids of the gods in their cradles, curtains rent. And north and south knew not what called them through the dark, until they landed, spent and drenched, each on opposite shore of the Red Sea. A blood mark, the first spark. There, glittering like sphinxes, like priestesses, the first whores on bended knee, gasping for breath and uttering the first words, "You are me." And north and south sang across the water, back and forth, ululations, loons and larks, and space stations of the cross, the same marks on their bodies from whence was cut the same cord, loosed and lost and found, and between them grew the first ocean, and the song of life forged, and sound between grew them the mermaids, and the silkies, and the sardines, oh, the prophets, and the children, and the women in the weeds, oh, the creatures of the new moon, and the birds who fill the night, all the bones, every poem, each figurine of flight, oh, fireflies and peers of lightning, whirling winds and phantoms frightening, all to say, "You are me, I am you, and we are we." And they sang across the water to each other, birthing life in stories long, and they never once did touch, except through the places where the song became the same ring on an endless gong, and 1,000 different flowers bloomed, pulled from dream to flesh by the demanding holy throng. Oh, the violence of communion, it never hurts a bit, but it rings out of body like a babe milking a tit, like a prayer flag, whipping in the storm, in the glory born, unraveling like for what it was woven and formed to do, stretched out, undone in its making, greater than the sum of its boom boo. Ooh, la la la, loo loo loo. North and south came through for the multiverse that day. They built a world between them, and they never knew what to say. Until one day, one of them, well, no one could really tell who, it happened just so fast, but one of them ran for the other. And then the other joined at last. Ran into each other, burned up the whole salt sea, and with one last refrain of "I am you, and you are me. The song did end. The song turned to pain. And I found I was just alone again. Standing in the sun. Walking in the rain. Annealment is? Should I keep carrying? Annealment. Annealment. To make, to melt down a sword or any metal. Fold it in on its own self so that it becomes softer, more flexible. Into the heat I rarely want to go these days. I remember when I was fresh metal, sleek and sharp, dancing through the air, cutting effortlessly, fate like a dancer, nimble and lithe, intuition barely helmeted, my heart seeing through a mesh, a fog, not needing to know what will happen, knowing already that what will happen and what is good, and what is happening right now is yet good still. But now, in this summer, the heat catches me, too thick to sweat, too dull to cut. I ache, brittle, and now boiling. To what end? This is what aging in capitalism feels like. If only I can trade it away, time for energy, money for time, so that I might prepare myself for annealment, to be melted down, to be remade, the same metal, the same material, softened so the imperfections are released. The old stories, the old trauma, the old scars, the old narratives stuck in me, like bubbles, cauterized, calcified, and iron, finally released, and myself made new. And by self I mean my spirit, melted down so that my metal is softer, more flexible, and thus stronger. Once again, like a dancer who bends around every challenge, defies the pains of gravity through the practice of acceptance. This is what grace is, accepting every challenge in the path of movement. This is what grace is. How do we move through the fires of life? It is all luck anyway. How and by whom and when we are resourced, and to what degree. Our world makes us, and it is luck which decides the world, and it is luck to be born at all. This spirit, a weapon of blood, wand of mercy, dancer, blade, time has revealed its limits, mortal made. I am not ready for the fire, but if fate wants to try me, please, I beg the gods, the blacksmiths, not the weavers. Please, I beg the gods, the blacksmiths, not the weavers. Take me all the way, anneal me this season. I don't want to break, I want to be useful. I want to live long enough to know I have done good in this world. And amidst all the clamor and chaos, left at least one clean mark.
People are going to love this. Wow.
And then the lights will go off. Somebody will turn the lights off. I don't know who.